What's going on, YouTube? This is Brian916. Behind me I got a 2003 Jeep Grand Cherokee with a really bad misfire. This is the 4.7 V8. So yesterday we diagnosed the source of that misfire. And excuse me, we have no compression on cylinder 1. So we leak tested it, and we got air coming back through the throttle body. So let me show you what we got going here. Bring you over here to the motor and basically show you what's going on. So we got the number 1 piston at top dead center on a compression stroke. There's a little mark on the harmonic balancer showing you the TDC mark. Also, the spark plug is out, and to verify that it is at TDC. So we got it on top dead center, and so we're gonna hook up a little bit of shop air and find out exactly where this compression loss is going, so we could tell a customer what his next move ought to be in terms of fixing his vehicle. So I already told him he had a compression loss in cylinder 1. He figured it was something along those lines, but that's not enough, because you need to be able to direct the customer in a direction to go. And you know, they're looking to you to figure out whether or not to keep the vehicle or what the case may be. So we want to leak down test it so we can see where that compression is going, so we could tell a customer you know, what his next move should be. So let's put some air in there. All right. So we got some shop air going into the cylinder. It is on top dead center on compression stroke, and we got a massive amount of compression that's escaping out through the throttle body. I'll bring you over here so you can hear it. So you can see all the air is coming out through the intake valve, back up and out through the throttle body. Just to take it a step further, I'll pull out the compression gauge, or the leak down tester gauge, and just sort of show you that the piston is on TDC, so that you could be up to speed on what we know. So you look down in there, you can see the piston is at top dead center on a compression stroke. Obviously, if it was on the exhaust stroke, the intake valve would not be open anyway. So even if it was in the wrong position, you still wouldn't be able to get air coming out the throttle body with the piston on TDC. It would come out the exhaust valve if it was on the exhaust stroke. So there's no air coming out of anywhere else. We opened up the radiator cap, we opened up the oil cap, and I took all the spark plugs out on this bank to be able to hear air coming from somewhere else. But we only got air coming up from the throttle body. So obviously we have an intake valve that's not seating correctly. So now I can tell the customer we need to remove the cylinder head and likely get a valve job. If any of you guys are familiar with these 4.7 Dodge, you know the valve seats fall out of them. Valves, they drop valves. So it may be a good idea to just get some new cylinder heads. So anyway, we'll find out once we pull the heads off, but we're definitely gonna pull them off. So I guess I'll take you guys along with me while we rip these heads off. something to get this fuse box out of the way. It looks like it's clipped onto this battery tray. Get that up and out. Something in the back holding it. Let's see. Alright. Let's get this battery tray out. Got a little electrical plug and a little vacuum spout under there too. All right, next, moving right along, I'm going to start with getting some of these accessories out of the way. Serpentine belt. Alright, got that out of the way. This alternator out of the way. Haven't been having the greatest day today, I'll tell you that. Got my truck back from the body shop and had to end up taking it back because none of my Bluetooth stuff is working. Can't connect voice onto through the vehicle. So that kind of sucked, having to take that back, and then had to get up at the crack of dawn to go and drop it off. And on top of that, dog decided to do some landscaping in the backyard. He decided he didn't like the way things were and did a little excavating. So I had to do like a few hours of yard work before I even came in today. Which kind of sucks. Next, what I'm going to do is pull the throttle body off and then take these coils out and then pull this intake up and out. So let's get that done. I'll start by taking the throttle body off because I need to get the intake off and I don't think it's going to give me enough clearance. Get out. And then also there's a coolant temp sensor right here. Looks like that's gonna probably have to come out too in order to get the intake out. So we'll get the throttle body off and this temp sensor. That'll ensure we'll be able to get this intake up and out. Normally I would stuff this hole, but since I'm pulling the cylinder heads off, it don't really matter too much. Put this throttle body somewhere. Alright, let's move on to these coils. Put those up and out of the way. here and organize this stuff that I pulled out. So I like to bag and tag. As you can see here, I already got a coil bag for the other side. So I'll go ahead and drop this side. Coil nuts in there. And then I'll make a bag for the AC bolts and the alternator bolts. So let's get those organized. Always like to stay organized just in case it's a while before I get back to this vehicle. I might have to jump on something else for a while. While these heads are at the machine shop or we're waiting for new heads to come in, it may not be as fresh in my mind. So, bagging and tagging. Alternator stuff here. Alright, so we got the coils up. Looks like there's a little PCV hose. I'm going to undo this PCV hose, get the throttle cable out, get this bracket off, and pull the fuel rail out. We'll get this intake up real quick. Repair like this. I want to do more of these videos, but honestly, I don't have a good YouTube editor program, which I need to get a better YouTube editor program, and I'd like to do more of these videos, and also get used to shooting videos like this. The camera angles are different. This is just different. So you see what I mean? By just taking this whole piece, I elected to do it that way, then to not break this because it feels kind of a bit on the brittle side. So let's do it the safe way. Alright, so we got some more stuff out of our way. I'm going to take this ground wire off and then we'll knock the rest of these little brackets off up here. 18 it is. You know, we might as well take this. Might as well take these out. hate to get a ratchet wrench. Get this one bust out. There's the bracket. So now, we're almost free to get that intake up. But first, let's get this fuel rail off. I think I could leave the fuel rail on the intake. I don't think there's, yeah, I could leave the fuel rail on, I think. But let me get it off the main line. We'll grab a disconnect tool. Alright, so I gotta get this, I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Gotta get this coolant temp sensor here out of the way, and then I can get this up. So I believe that's like a maybe 22 millimeters. So. Alright, gotta fit. Alright, got the coolant temp sensor out. Okay, so let me reorganize this up here, and then we'll pull the intake out. We got Ross. Is he getting that transmission set over? Yeah. Alright. Alright, let's see. Now we gotta take the fuel rail out. No big deal. All right, got them all out, and it worked. I could barely get them out. Alright, got this intake out. Next, I think I'm gonna raise it up in the air and start draining some stuff out of the bottom. Let's see. Yeah, because I want to get this radiator out and tear the front timing cover off, and so I'm gonna go underneath right now, and I think while I'm under there I might as well undo the exhaust downpipes. So let's get this bad boy in the air. Alright, so got it back down on the ground. As you can see, I took the radiator out and the fan, the hydraulic fan, which also feeds the power steering pump. And then I got the exhaust downpipes removed from the exhaust manifold. I tried to get up under there and film that too, but I guess the base of my tripod is way too wide, and there's not enough room for me to be under there and shoot the video. Besides that, coolant dripping down on the camera. I don't know how those guys shoot videos underneath the car. I guess it depends on what video you're doing, but if you got coolant pans dripping coolant and stuff, it's a little more difficult, or maybe it's just the setup I'm using. But anyway, so I got that removed. So let's keep on moving and get this front torn down. Got the power steering pump out of the way. Take a minute here and get this situated. Still got a return line attached to it. Later on, I'm probably gonna end up removing this and getting it out of here completely, but it's good there for now. All right, next, guess I'll get this power steering pump out the way. Let me get a catch pan. That's it. I end up putting a new water pump on anyway. Okay. Pittsburgh to the rescue. I had to take this little tensioner off to get to the water pump, one water pump bolt. All right, well, got to get the harmonic balancer off down here, and got a couple coolant lines before we can get this timing cover off. So let me grab these coolant lines real quick, and then I gotta get this harmonic balancer bolt out of here. Normally I'd be playing some music right now, but while I do a rather large job like this, but I think YouTube won't allow you for copyright reasons, which is understandable. Give me a hose hook real quick. Whenever I do like large engine jobs like this, I listen to different music than I do if I'm like just driving or if I'm at home. Even when I'm cleaning at home or doing yard work, I seem to listen to different music when I'm working. I like to listen to oldies while I'm working. For some reason, like old Motown music and old doo-wop music, Chuck Berry, Little Richard, just old music like that, and also like some of the I forget what they call that music, like, you know, doo-wop or whatever. Kind of like that while I'm working for some reason. All right, let me get my earthquake, another Harbor Freight tool, to get this harmonic balancer bolt off. Here we go. All right, what size socket is that? Judging by the way it feels, I think it's a 22 millimeter or 21 balancer bolt. Just like that. You know, I haven't tried it on a Honda bolt. That would be the true test, but it gets most crank bolts out pretty easy. All right, let's see. I think you got to use a special puller on these. I got one. Let me grab it. Gotta use a little puller like this for these style. Man, I wish my tripod was taller so I can get you up in there, but my tripod is not tall enough, unfortunately, so I'm doing the best I can. I guess I'll be in the market for a taller tripod. Guess I didn't realize, but the guys who shoot a lot of these engine repair videos, they must either be using a really tall tripod or maybe like a GoPro camera on their head or something, because I thought my tripod was tall, but apparently not. Alright, I'm gonna use this nano impact to run this thing down. Alright, now we can take the timing cover off now that we got this ginormous harmonic balancer out of the way. Let's go. This tool put. Alright, we can get the timing cover off, so let's get it off. Well, actually, let me regroup, organize for a bit. These were water pump bolts here. These are our power steering pump bolts. We'll get these bagged and tagged. Our water pump. Power steering pump. And we'll get ahead of the game here and make a timing cover bag. Already got a bag made up for timing cover. And we'll buzz them out and drop them in. Let's see, got this thing right here. I think that's the last bolt. Is that like a 19 millimeter? Small. Alright, that's all our timing bolt bags. These bolts are different lengths, so if you're doing this job, be mindful of that. I always can judge what bolt goes where, so I don't really worry with that too much. I'll give you an example. So you can see on this timing cover, if you turn it to the side, obviously a longer bolt's gonna go here than here. So I usually don't worry too much. You can tell if the bolt's too long. If you run it in and it's getting tight and it's still sticking out, I mean, obviously it's the wrong bolt, find the right bolt. But I also have Identifix, and it gives you information on which bolt goes where. So anyway, moving right along. So we got the timing cover off on this beast. I don't know if you can see that, but we got the timing cover off. And so now we can, there you can see it from there. We got the timing cover exposed, see the timing change. So at this point, we can get the valve covers off. I'll work on the valve covers next. And then we can undo the chain, probably just pull the tensioners out and get the chains loose. And I believe the customer wants to replace this stuff in here, but I'll take a look at it and If the guides look good and everything looks good, we'll see. But he doesn't really know anything about this car because he bought it, just bought it used in this state. So maybe it'd be a good idea to go ahead and replace the chains, the guides, and the tensioner. I think you could get a kit for these for not too bad. So we'll probably do that. And so let's start taking these valve covers off. Trying to get this goofy clip out of here first. I hate how Chrysler put those little red little tabs there. Tell me that ain't overkill. I mean, it's okay when the car is still brand new, but when you got upwards of 200,000 miles, man, those clips are pretty comfortable where they are. Don't want to come out. An electrical clip out. Alright, so let's get this valve cover off, move this goofy wiring harness out the way. Before we do that, let's get this PCB hose back here out. One on the other side too. Oh, that's split. Out of here. Looks like this little rubber one split on. Now look at that one. I bet you gotta buy this whole piece from the dealer. Well, that's this cover over here is probably the hardest one to do, but I'm already over here, so I'm gonna start with this one. Really on there. Alright, we'll bust it out by hand. Then we got one more way in the back, right by the firewall, aka bulkhead. All right. I don't know, what do you guys say, firewall or bulkhead? Personally, when I first started, no one said bulkhead, it was a firewall, so guess what? It's a firewall. Got us one valve cover. bet bulkhead sounded, or firewall sounded too dangerous. So they probably had to soften the language up, turn it into a bulkhead, which I don't really understand where they come up with bulkhead. Firewall makes sense to me. All right, now let's get this terrible side done. It's got all kind of junk on this side. Let's see what we have over here. Give us a little more wiggle room. Nothing the pry bar can't fix. I know these things got a cam sensor on them. Yeah, right here. A cam sensor. Alright. I gotta free this up a little more. Get this goofy wiring harness over a bit. Get these coolant pipes off. These lines up. So let's start getting these bolts out, and we'll have to just angle this valve cover. In fact, you know what, let me take this off. Give us some more room if that's out of the way. Now we can get up under here fairly easy. Let's get these goofy wires over. No rocker arm. Check it out. That's even worse. While I was talking, I just noticed, let me take this off the tripod, I guess. Let's see. Would you look at this? No rocker arm at all for the intake valve. But that's even worse, because if there's no rocker arm on this, that means this valve should be held closed in the closed position 100%, because there's no cam pushing on it to open it. So this, it should, well, definitely would misfire, but that still doesn't explain air escaping, which tells me that someone purposely did that. So we definitely need to get this head off and figure out what the heck is going on in here. Clearly someone's been in here. I can tell some bolts that I noticed were probably used with the wrong size socket, and some of the electrical connectors are broken and glued on and stuff like that. I hate going behind people who just don't do a good job, you know, and they make it harder for the next person to get in there. You know, when I work on cars, every car that I work on, you know, I do it as if I got to go back in there later and go behind myself. So I try to do the best job that I can. Anyway, moving on to where we were. You see that? What's going on now?
You won't believe.
This valve cover is going to be fun, pulling it up and out. Much better. Looks like a real doozy. Alright, now let's get this thing off. This ought to be fun. Got this one out. That's gonna be fun putting back in. But I think when I put it back in, all right, so we got both valve covers off now. Almost there. I guess the next thing to do on this will probably be to undo the timing. Once we undo the timing, we can get the cam sprocket off so we can unbolt our heads. So almost to the finish line here. Let's keep on moving and get these timing chains undone. All right, I think in order to get this timing chain off, well, obviously we got to get the tensioner out. But I think, yeah, we got to pop this cap out right here. So, it's been a while since I worked on one of these, but it's coming back to me. Try to pop this cap out. Get something smaller now. All right. That gives us access now to a guide bolt. I don't want to lose this. Let me get this in a Ziploc bag. Got a 1 1/8, which is probably the same as 28 millimeter. And it is. Just gonna do it by hand, nice and easy. Thing's hard all the way through. There's some Loctite on it. Actually thread sealer, which was a good idea to put on this. Alright, so that gives us access to a bolt and a timing guide right there. So I'm gonna also bag that too so I don't lose it. I'll bag it with the other plug. Alright. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the chain tensioners off. Alright. Let's take a look at it. See if there's anything I need to know about it. In case when I'm putting it back together, if I see something that I'm not sure about. So we see it right away, there's a nail on it for the left side. Alright, let's get the other one out. Yep, this one's got an R for the right side, so you can't mix them up. That's always nice. You can see this one looks different in the back. It's oil fed, so it matters which way it goes on. So let's get these bagged up too. I doubt there's anything wrong with these. We may get new ones. I don't know. Okay, let's see. So we'll take that one here, and we'll take this one here, and we should be able to get the chain off. Let's see. The torque socket, same thing. I'm gonna get us a torque socket. All right, let's find us the appropriate size. Looks like about a T30 to me. Let's see. Maybe a little bigger. Let's see. That one's on there reasonably.
like you're working or something.
All right, where was I? I had to stop the camera. A customer came in. There we go. It's that one. That one in there. Get a magnet to pull that out. Hey, you see my magnet? All right, so we got this guide off. Yeah, I can feel some pretty deep grooves in here. Definitely probably get another timing set when I get this back together. Got the guys loose. Pull that guide up and out. All right, let me try to come up with a way to hold this thing in place while I knock the bolt off. What we'll do is put some cushion over it like that. Get some vice grips. Make it a little tighter. Alright, and let's buzz this bolt off. What is that? So I'm gonna use the earthquake. Here we go. No problem. Probably didn't even have to use the vice grip. Nice and pretty. All right, so this head is ready to come up. Well, let's knock this one off. See if the chain will come off. Nope. So we'll do the same thing on the other side. Alright. Find a smooth spot. Pop that cam in, like so. So this one right here has a ring on it to read the cam sensor, so be careful not to damage this. Speaking of cam sensors, there's a cam sensor still in here. Let me take that out since I'm about to unbolt the head. Little cam sensor in there. We'll get that bagged up. Clearly we know what that bolt's for. And then I'll take some time to bag up these timing cover bolts. These guys, I might end up getting new guys. Not sure yet. And really no reason to label these either, because pretty much the only bolt that looks like this goes in a timing cover. But who knows, I may label it anyway. And then now we could get this other guide out. Alright, so we could unbolt the head now. Let's see, get this little goofy wiring harness out the way. And obviously this is the easier head, this one's the harder one. So this is the head with the problem. So I'm gonna take this one first, just in case I see something in here that we might as well call it quits now, because the piston's damaged or something catastrophic. There's no reason to unbolt the other one. So we'll get this one off first and see how it looks, and if all looks well, then we'll go ahead and unbolt the other one. Let's see if the Earthquake from Harbor Freight with a short extension on there. I don't have an impact extension. I do, but not this short. Let's see if it'll get these off. No problem. Spin them out. Alright, so this head is free now. We can pick it up, but before we pick it up, we need somewhere for it to go. So let's find a place for it to go. All right, let's lift this head up and off and get it on this little workbench here. Make sure all this goofy wiring is out of the way. Alright, here we are. Got this side off. You can see right here in the piston, we got a beauty mark right here. So we know that valve hit. It's a nasty little groove. Let's go over here and see, take a look at this head. See what we got. This thing is pretty heavy because I got the exhaust manifold still on it. It's kind of heavy. But let's take a look. Oh, look at that. What a beauty. What a beauty. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another Dodge that dropped the valve seat. This is the longest I've seen one go before it actually dropped the valve seat. If you've never seen this before, I'll show you. A lot of times, it's worse than this. You Dodge guys out there know. So this is actually a much better case of a valve seat falling out, and these vehicles have this problem. So that shows the leak down test we did, where we got all that air coming out the throttle body. You could definitely see where it went. So got it all done, got this head off. I'm gonna stop the camera right here and go and get that unbolt that other head before I take off for the day. It's about 5 o'clock already, my guy left, and so I just got that one other cylinder head to remove, and I'll start getting some prices on purchasing a new head, and I'll check with my machinist and get some prices with him too, and check it. As far as the head goes, it looks nice and flat, doesn't look warped. Obviously I have to put a straight edge on it, but I don't see any cracks or anything in between the valves or nothing like that. So it looks like it just dropped the valve like so many Dodges do. Anyway, so I'll get that other one unbolted. I'll bring you guys along when I install a new cylinder head. Shout out to all the subscribers that's watching my channel, it's much appreciated. And also shout out to all the mechanics on YouTube that's uploading videos in this format, you know, video on repairs. It's a lot more difficult than I realized. So much credit to you guys. It feels different working with a camera on you, and the camera actually gets in the way while you're working. So it's a lot more difficult than I thought. So shout out to you YouTubers, mechanics that film repairs. I got much more respect for you guys after filming this. Anyway, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. This is Brian 916. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.